History on the map, the use of geoinformation technologies and remote sensor data in the conditions of Ukraine's war with Russia. History on the map targets projects of cultural and scientific heritage, communication of communities of Ukrainians, support for refugees, provision of financing for citizens in Ukraine. Popularization of Ukraine in the world, study of local cultures and traditions. The purpose of the event is to acquaint a wide range of specialists with projects related to the use of geoinformation technologies for the accumulation, systematization and analysis of destruction in Ukraine, historical and archaeological data, the search and research of historical heritage objects, which are carried out in different parts of the world. To talk about successful international practices in this field, to help establish contacts between geoinformatics specialists and researchers. It began as a cycle of roundtables dedicated to the use of geoinformation technologies and remote sensor data in historical and archaeological research. Donbas history. The region has been inhabited for centuries by various nomadic tribes, such as Scythians, Alans, Huns, Bulgars, Pechenegs, Kipchaks, Turco-Mongols, Tatars and Nogais. The region now known as the Donbas was largely unpopulated until the second half of the 17th century, when Don Cossacks established the first permanent settlements in the region. The first town in the region was founded in 1676, called Solanoye, now Soledar, which was built for the profitable business of exploiting newly discovered rock salt reserves. Known for being wild fields, Ukrainian, dike pole. The area that is now called the Donbas was largely under the control of the Ukrainian Cossack Hetmanate and the Turkic Crimean Khanate until the mid-late 18th century, when the Russian Empire conquered the Hetmanate and annexed the Khanate. In the second half of the 17th century, settlers and fugitives from Hetmans Ukraine and Muscovy settled the lands north of the Donets River. At the end of the 18th century, many Russians, Ukrainians, Serbs and Greeks migrated to lands along the southern course of the Donets River, into an area previously inhabited by nomadic Nogais, who were nominally subject to the Crimean Khanate. 1718, Tsarist Russia named the conquered territories New Russia, Russian, Novokrossiya, Novorossiya. As the Industrial Revolution took hold across Europe, the vast coal resources of the region, discovered in 1721, began to be exploited in the mid-late 19th century. Soviet period. During the reconstruction of the Donbas after the end of the Second World War, large numbers of Russian workers arrived to repopulate the region, further altering the population balance. In 1926, 639,000 ethnic Russians resided in the Donbas. By 1959, the ethnic Russian population was 2.55 million. Russification was further advanced by the 1958–59 Soviet educational reforms, which led to the near elimination of all Ukrainian language schooling in the Donbas. By the time of the Soviet census of 1989, 45% of the population of the Donbas reported their ethnicity as Russian. In 1990, the Interfront of the Donbas was founded as a movement against Ukrainian independence. War in Donbas, 2014 to 2022. From the beginning of March 2014, demonstrations by pro-Russian and anti-government groups took place in the Donbas. As part of the aftermath of the Revolution of Dignity and the Euromaidan movement. These demonstrations, which followed the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation, and which were part of a wider group of concurrent pro-Russian protests across southern and eastern Ukraine, escalated in April 2014 into a war between the Russian-backed separatist forces of the self-declared Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, DPR and LPR respectively, and the Ukrainian government. Russia officially recognized the independence of the Donetsk and Luhansk republics on 21 February 2022, effectively killing the Minsk agreements. Russia subsequently launched a new, full-scale invasion of Ukraine on 24 February 2022, which Russian President Vladimir Putin said was intended to protect the people of the Donbas from the abuse and genocide of the Ukrainian government. There is no evidence to support Putin's claims. The DPR and LPR joined Russia's operation. The separatists stated that an operation to capture the entirety of Donetsk Oblast and Luhansk Oblast had begun. The Donbas economy is dominated by heavy industry, such as coal mining and metallurgy. The region takes its name from an abbreviation of the term, Donets Coal Basin, Ukrainian. Doniki Vuini Basin, Russian, Doniki Ugolny Basin, and while annual extraction of coal has decreased since the 1970s, the Donbas remains a significant producer. The Donbas represents one of the largest coal reserves in Ukraine, with estimated reserves of 60 billion tons of coal. Coal mining in the Donbas is conducted at very deep depths. Lignite mining takes place at around 600 meters, 2,000 feet, below the surface, whilst mining for the more valuable anthracite and bituminous coal takes place at depths of around 1,800 meters. Prior to the start of the region's war in April 2014, Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts together produced about 30% of Ukraine's exports. Other industries in the Donetsk region include blast furnace and steel-making equipment, railway freight cars, metal cutting machine tools, tunneling machines, agricultural harvesters and plowing systems, railway tracks, mining cars, electric locomotives, military vehicles, tractors and excavators. The region also produces consumer goods like household washing machines, refrigerators, freezers, TV sets, leather footwear, and toilet soap. Over half its production is exported, and about 22% is exported to Russia.